Catholics are not bad people, but they are in a corrupt system of religion. It's the religious institution of the Roman Catholic Church. The book of Revelation talks about an end-time power called Babylon the Great, which deceives the world, unites with the kings of the earth, and persecutes God's people. There's a variety of interpretations about who Babylon the Great is, including the United States of America, Jerusalem, Islam, and the Roman Catholic Church, to name a few. It is vital to know who this power is so we don't fall for its deceptions. So in this video, we are going to be exploring Bible prophecy to discover who this terrifying power is, as I present to you 10 facts about Babylon the Great. But before I do that, I want to encourage you to sign up for Revelation Now. Revelation Now is an upcoming Bible prophecy series starting on October the 23rd until November the 14th. It will be hosted by Pastor Doug Batchelor, who is also the president of Amazing Facts, an international Christian ministry. Some of the things you will learn during the Revelation Now prophecy series is: what role does America play in prophecy? Is the coronavirus a part of prophecy? What is the mark of the beast? What will the rapture be like? Who is the Antichrist? And much more. Click on the link in the video description to sign up for the Revelation Now prophecy series today. Now for the facts. Fact number 1. Babylon is a woman. Revelation chapter 17 uses a lot of symbols to describe Babylon the Great, and one of those symbols is a woman. When the Apostle John saw Babylon in vision, in verse 3 he said, "I saw a woman sitting on a scarlet beast." A woman in Bible prophecy symbolizes a church. One example of that is the parable of the 10 virgins in Matthew chapter 25. The 10 virgins symbolize the church before the second coming of Jesus Christ. Therefore, Babylon the Great is a church. Fact number 2. Babylon is a harlot. Babylon is not just any woman. Revelation chapter 17 verse 1 describes her as a great harlot, stating, "Come, I will show you the judgment of the great harlot who sits on many waters." A harlot is another way of saying a prostitute, so this is a church that has been unfaithful to the Lord and has corrupted her ways. Fact number 3. Babylon rides a beast. To reiterate, verse 3 says, "I saw a woman sitting on a scarlet beast." A beast in Bible prophecy symbolizes a kingdom. For example, after Daniel had his dream about the 4 beasts that rose up out of the sea in Daniel chapter 7, verse 23 says, "The 4th beast shall be a 4th kingdom on earth." So the woman riding the beast represents a church-state union. Fact number 4. Babylon is rich. Revelation chapter 17 verse 4 says, "The woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet, and adorned with gold and precious stones and pearls." Fact number 5. Babylon persecutes Christians. Revelation chapter 17 verse 6 says, "I saw the woman drunk with the blood of the saints and with the blood of the martyrs of Jesus." Have you figured out who Babylon the Great is yet? If you think you know who Babylon is, let me know in the comments section down below. Now, I'm going to identify who Babylon the Great is in just a minute, but just to recap so far, Babylon the Great represents a corrupt church who united with the state throughout its existence, persecuted Christians, and is rich. Just by those details alone, I think it's pretty easy to narrow it down and discover who Babylon the Great symbolizes, and that is the Roman Catholic Church. Now, in identifying the Roman Catholic Church as Babylon the Great, please don't think I'm saying that all Catholics are bad people. All Catholics are not bad people, but they are in a corrupt system of religion. It's the religious institution of the Roman Catholic Church that is bad, not the people. There are sincere, godly Christians in the Roman Catholic Church and many other Christian denominations around the world. I was once a Catholic myself, and if you would like to learn why I left the Roman Catholic Church, You can click on the card in the upper right-hand corner of the screen to watch my video entitled 10 Reasons Why I Left the Catholic Church. In terms of the Roman Catholic Church becoming corrupt, corresponding to Babylon being a harlot, the Catholic Church actually started out as a good church. The Roman Catholic Church started out as the Church of Rome, and it's written about in the New Testament. The book of Romans is addressed to the Church of Rome. However, the Church of Rome later developed into what we now know as the Roman Catholic Church, and it became corrupt in the process because it adopted many pagan concepts and incorporated them into Christianity. That's why Catholics pray to Mary, the saints, and the cross. That comes from pagan idol worship. There's no example of Christians in the Bible praying to statues, pictures, or crosses. The second commandment tells us not to do that. Exodus chapter 20 verses 4 through 5 says, "You shall not make for yourselves a carved image, any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. You shall not bow down to them, nor serve them." The Roman Catholic Church has also changed the Sabbath from Saturday to Sunday. They admit this in their own writings. For example, the Catechism of the Council of Trent states, "The Church of God has thought it well to transfer the celebration and observance of the Sabbath to Sunday." The fourth commandment tells us to keep the seventh day holy as the Sabbath, which corresponds to Saturday. Exodus chapter 20 verses 8 through 10 tells us, "Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days you shall labor and do all your work, but the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord your God. In it you shall do no work." The pagans in the Roman Empire worshipped the sun god on Sunday, so the Catholic Church changed the Sabbath from Saturday to Sunday to accommodate them. This was done during the reign of Constantine the Great because Constantine thought that by uniting Christians and pagans, by making some compromises between them, he can strengthen his empire. However, the Roman Empire ended up falling anyway, and the Church of Rome became corrupted by paganism. The Roman Catholic Church today is really nothing more than a compromise between paganism and Christianity. There are a lot of teachings and practices in the Catholic Church that have pagan origins, but have been given Christian names to make them appear Christian. In terms of the Roman Catholic Church being a church-state union and persecuting Christians, corresponding to the woman riding the beast and being drunk with the blood of the saints, for over 1,000 years, the Catholic Church united with European countries to persecute people who would not submit to the Church's authority. Many Christian groups with opposing views to the Catholic Church who did not accept the authority of the Pope were viciously persecuted by the Church. This was done through crusades, holy wars, and the Inquisition. One group of Christians the Catholic Church persecuted was the Waldensians. A 2015 online post entitled, "Pope Asks Pardon from Waldensian Protestants for Past Persecution" by Reuters.com states, "Pope Francis asked forgiveness on Monday for the Roman Catholic Church's non-Christian and inhumane treatment in the past of the Waldensians, a tiny Protestant movement the Vatican tried to exterminate in the 15th century. The movement, an early precursor of the Protestant Reformation in the 16th century, was branded as heretical, and in 1487, Pope Innocent VIII ordered its extermination. Some 1,700 Waldensians were killed in 1655 by Catholic forces commanded by the Duke of Savoy. Huguenots were another group of Christians that were persecuted by the Catholic Church. At the command of Catholic King Charles IX, a massacre of the Huguenots began in Paris, France, on August the 24th in 1572, which was the eve of the feast of Bartholomew the Apostle. The massacre lasted several weeks and extended outward to other urban centers and the countryside. Estimates of how many Huguenots were murdered go as high as 70,000. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. John Dowling wrote in his book History of Romanism, "From the birth of popery to the present time, it is estimated by careful and credible historians that more than 50 millions of the human family have been slaughtered for the crime of heresy by popish persecutors, an average of more than 40,000 religious murders for every year of the existence of popery to the present day. In addition, just like Babylon the Great is rich because she's adorned with all kinds of jewels, the Roman Catholic Church is the richest church in the world. An online post entitled "The 10 Richest Religions in the World" by churchandstate.org.uk states, Catholic priests are expected to make a vow of poverty, so it is ironic that the church is actually the richest religion in the world. The Catholic Church owns some of the greatest artworks ever made. It also has vast gold deposits and billions of dollars in assets. It also earns a significant amount of income from the tourism sector, as the Vatican is considered an independent city-state. It also has more than 1 billion members around the world. So much for not storing up your treasures on earth. Jesus said in Matthew chapter 6 verses 19 through 20, "Do not lay up for yourselves treasures on earth, where moth and rust destroy, and where thieves break in and steal. But lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust destroys, and where thieves do not break in and steal." All those works of art, gold, and precious treasures that the Catholic Church is storing up is going to be no good when Jesus returns. Then the church is going to have to give an account of how it made use of its means to advance the gospel. Now that we have identified the Roman Catholic Church as Babylon the Great, let's discover some more facts about Babylon and see how they correspond to the Roman Catholic Church. Fact number 6. Babylon sits on many waters. John wrote in Revelation chapter 17 verse 1, "Then one of the 7 angels who had the 7 bowls came and talked with me, saying, 'Come, I will show you the judgment of the great harlot who sits on many waters.'" Verse 15 reveals what those waters symbolize, saying, "The waters which you saw where the harlot sits are peoples, multitudes, nations, and tongues." So Babylon sitting on many waters means that it has a global presence, just like the Roman Catholic Church. The Roman Catholic Church is the largest Christian denomination in the world, with churches on every continent boasting 1.3 billion baptized members. That's more than all of the Protestant churches combined. According to the World Christian Encyclopedia, there are more than 33,000 Protestant denominations. And all of those denominations combined have a membership of about 800 million to 1 billion people. Fact number 7. Babylon commits fornication. Revelation chapter 17 verses 1 through 2 says, "Come, I will show you the judgment of the great harlot who sits on many waters, with whom the kings of the earth committed fornication." Fornication means to have an illicit relationship, to put it lightly. And Babylon the Great, in other words, the Roman Catholic Church, had an illicit relationship with the kings of the earth throughout much of its history because it united with the state to enforce its dogmas. Jesus said church and state should remain separate in Matthew chapter 22 verse 21, stating, "Render therefore to Caesar the things that are Caesar's, and to God the things that are God's." In uniting with the state, the Catholic Church abandoned its union with Jesus Christ, and it relied on the state to force conversions instead of relying on Jesus and His grace. Instead of presenting people with the gospel, which renews believers from the inside out and leads to a truly changed life, it presented them with laws which can only accomplish outward conformity for fear of being punished, but doesn't lead to true conversion. By the way, Bible prophecy warns that this is going to happen again in the future. Church and state will unite and force people to worship in a way that violates the 10 Commandments. This will result in the mark of the beast. Revelation chapter 13 verses 15 through 17 says, "He," speaking about apostate Protestant America, "was granted power to give breath to the image of the beast." The image of the beast represents a church-state union. That the image of the beast should both speak and cause as many as would not worship the image of the beast to be killed. He causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and slave, to receive a mark on their right hand or on their foreheads, and that no one may buy or sell except one who has the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. If you want to learn more about the mark of the beast, click on the card in the upper right-hand corner of the screen and check out my video entitled 10 Facts About the Mark of the Beast Satan Doesn't Want You to Know. Fact number 8. Babylon wears purple and scarlet. Revelation chapter 17 verse 4 says, "The woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet." I think it's no coincidence that Catholic bishops wear purple and cardinals wear scarlet. What's even more interesting is the reason why cardinals wear scarlet. An online post entitled "Colors Worn by Cardinals and Bishops" by simplycatholic.com states, "The cardinals wear scarlet red as an outward sign of their willingness to shed their blood in defense of the Catholic faith." Kind of ironic coming from a church that has shed more innocent blood than any other institution known to mankind throughout the history of the world. And in reference to why bishops wear purple, the post by simplycatholic.com states, "It is almost certain that the use of purple attire by bishops was originally intended to show that the bishops possessed religious and spiritual authority equal to the temporal and civil authority of princes and kings." So much for humble service. Jesus said in Matthew chapter 20 verses 25 through 28, "You know that the rulers of the Gentiles lord it over them, and those who are great exercise authority over them. Yet it shall not be so among you, but whoever desires to become great among you, let him be your servant. And whoever desires to be first among you, let him be your slave. Just as the Son of Man did not come to be served, but to serve, and to give his life a ransom for many." Fact number 9. Babylon is full of abominations. Revelation chapter 17 verse 4 says, "The woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet, and adorned with gold and precious stones and pearls, having in her hand a golden cup full of abominations and the filthiness of her fornication." The Bible calls several things an abomination. One of them is idolatry. Ezekiel chapter 14 verse 6 says, "Therefore say to the house of Israel, thus says the Lord God, repent, turn away from your idols, and turn your faces away from all your abominations." Idolatry is the worship of images. The Roman Catholic Church is guilty of this in bowing down to and praying to statues and images of Mary, the saints, and even the cross. Disregarding the 10 Commandment law of God is another abomination. Proverbs chapter 28 verse 9 says, "One who turns away his ear from hearing the law, even his prayer, is an abomination." The Catholic Church has disregarded the second commandment, which forbids idolatry. You don't find it in their list of the 10 commandments. They've also disregarded the fourth commandment, the one that tells us to keep the seventh-day Sabbath holy, which is Saturday, and they have replaced it with Sunday. Another abomination in the Bible is eating unclean meat. And speaking about unclean animals, Leviticus chapter 11 verse 11 says, "They shall be an abomination to you. You shall not eat their flesh, but you shall regard their carcasses as an abomination." Some of the animals that the Bible identifies as unclean include pork, catfish, shrimp, lobster, crabs, and rabbits. Yet there is no prohibition in the Catholic Church against eating these things. Communicating with the dead is another abomination according to the Bible. Deuteronomy chapter 18 verses 10 through 12 says, "There shall not be found among you anyone who makes his son or his daughter to pass through the fire, or one who practices witchcraft, or a soothsayer, or one who interprets omens, or a sorcerer, or one who conjures spells, or a medium, or a spiritist." A spiritist is someone who communicates with the dead, or one who calls up the dead, for all who do these things are an abomination to the Lord. Remind you of anything the Catholic Church does, praying to Mary and the saints? Mary and the saints are dead, resting in the grave, waiting for the second coming of Jesus to be resurrected and taken to heaven. They're not in heaven now. What's more, the practice of spiritualism is rooted in the belief of the immortality of the soul. What that means is that you have an immortal soul that exists apart from your body after you die. But that's not biblical. And people who believe that open up an avenue for Satan and his angels to mislead them, because they can impersonate the dead with supposed messages from beyond the grave to deceive people. There are more things the Bible calls abominations, but I think you get the point. Fact number 10. Babylon is a mother. Revelation chapter 17 verse 5 says, "And on her forehead a name was written, Mystery, Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and of the abominations of the earth." This is additional evidence that Babylon the Great represents the Roman Catholic Church, because the Roman Catholic Church calls itself Holy Mother Church. A Wikipedia post entitled Mother Church states, "The church is considered to be a mother to her members because she is the bride of Christ, and all other churches have had their origin or derived from her." However, this is not true. The Roman Catholic Church is not the bride of Christ. If anything, it divorced Christ when it departed from the faith by adopting pagan beliefs and practices and uniting with the state to enforce its teachings. By the way, if Babylon is a mother, that means that she has daughters. And her daughters are those churches that have come out of her, but at the same time have retained many of her false practices and beliefs. That's why some of the abominations I mentioned, which Babylon commits, are not unique to the Roman Catholic Church. The Roman Catholic Church is not the only church that claims that the Sabbath is on Sunday now, or that says Jesus made it so we can eat unclean meat, or believes in the immortality of the soul. Shockingly, many Protestant churches believe this as well. As a matter of fact, you will find a lot of unbiblical similarities between many professed Protestant churches today and the Roman Catholic Church, because those churches are the daughters of Babylon the Great. Please prayerfully consider supporting my channel through Patreon or PayPal, which you can find links to in the video description, or by clicking the join button under this video. Your financial support will not only help me maintain my channel so I can continue making inspiring Christian content, but will also help me expand my channel to reach more people for the gospel. The Bible includes a lot of symbolic details about Babylon the Great. Babylon is a harlot, which symbolizes a corrupt church. She unites with the state, persecutes God's people, is full of abominations, and calls herself a mother. There is only one church that matches this description, and that is the Roman Catholic Church. Now, this may come as a shock to you if you're hearing this for the first time and you're a Catholic. I used to be a Catholic, and when I started learning about the Catholic Church and Bible prophecy, it blew me away, and as a result, I left the Catholic Church. If you're wondering whether or not you should remain in the Catholic Church and try to reform it or something like that, the Bible has the answer. Revelation chapter 18 verses 2 and 4 says, "Babylon the Great is fallen, and has become a dwelling place of demons, a prison for every foul spirit and a cage for every unclean and hated bird. Come out of her, my people, lest you share in her sins and lest you receive of her plagues." The Bible is clear. God wants us to come out of Babylon because it will not change, and as a result, it will suffer the 7 last plagues. I answered the call to come out of Babylon 20 years ago because I wanted to be faithful to God and His Word. And if you want to come out of the Roman Catholic Church, or you're part of a Protestant church which promotes her false doctrines, and you recognize Jesus' call to come out and you're not sure where to go, feel free to DM me on Facebook or Instagram at Bible Flockbox, or email me at questions@bibleflockbox.org, and I will help you find a Bible-based church near you. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you're new so you don't miss any of my future uploads. Click on the screen to watch some more of my prophecy videos from the book of Revelation. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to like it and share it. Thank you for watching, and God bless you.